So I'm just gonna record it while I coach you. Okay. Anyways, so what's the play? How's the game looking from your
For
perspective?
this one, I feel like it's pretty good. I have range advantage with Q. Me and Jin have same auto range, so I want to stay riverside and try to pressure him with Qs. That's why I kind of walk up since they didn't show up to lane. I want to see if I can get a Q off and maybe pull the minions a little bit, make it easier. But it is dependent on Swain landing E's to really like hard win.
550. Okay.
Yeah, I remember this because I've looked it up a few times before games rolling, loading screen.
550. So same. Okay.
Yep.
So you can skill check this guy if you want to. All right. So I mean, I don't know. This is really good what you're doing. Wow. This is such a quick improvement. I don't think you did this when we were first doing the coaching session.
I did not.
You were fucking AFK. You were AFK in Russia. I don't even know where you were.
Like everywhere.
This is so good. I love it. This is actually so good. Yeah, this is so good. Who's the support? It's Senna Jin. Right. Yeah.
Yep.
Just at this point, yeah, just throw Q. I mean, I think you should just throw
another
Q.
thing it's important to note, I did increase my mouse sensitivity 1 tick for me, and then I increased screen sensitivity a little bit as well.
Thank God. See, chat. This is a client who actually listens and does things. God, where have you been?
And it feels way better too. Like I had to get used to it for, like the day after we talked about it, but once I got used to it, everything feels a lot better.
Yeah. All right, I'm actually not disappointed. This is a pleasant surprise.
I was scared to show send something and you just not know.
No. I mean, look, you're gonna make mistakes most likely. Okay, we're gonna go over mistakes. Okay, but this is quite good. Like, I'm thoroughly happy. But I would already try to just launch Q. I think you can already launch it. I think you're a little slow to launch it. Why do you wait so long?
I was waiting for Jin specifically.
You can hit Senna too. Might as
okay.
well. Same thing. Okay, I don't think she's gonna be able to if you hit her with multiple Qs and she's out of the lane, she's not winning. Especially with Swain. Right? So
yeah, that's true.
even a little bit of damage is going to still be completely fine. I would have already Q'd. I mean, at this point just Q him. Yeah. Auto. Good. Okay,
Auto
so look.
Q would be better.
So look, what I would like you to do is what does this guy want to do?
He wants to last hit that melee.
Right, so
he
we're gonna
probably Q it. But he doesn't have Q.
No, he doesn't have Q. His grenade. Is that his Q? Yeah, his grenade.
Yeah,
so
his Q's grenade.
Here, I actually don't know which buttons Jin. I know what he does. I just don't know which buttons are which. I'm gonna be honest. I know his W is a little plant and his, yeah. Anyways, at this point in the game, this guy wants this minion. Yes.
Yep.
So if you stand here, let's say hypothetically, if you stand here, Senna will also be trying to respond. Potentially, but in a realistic world, you also have Swain, right?
Okay.
But because you're playing in a really low ranking, we're not going to necessarily count these two's movements in this specific moment because there's something that you yourself can do that doesn't necessarily it has nothing to do with your support players, which is this guy wants this minion, you can stand here, you can hit him with Q. If Senna, let's say, isn't here and Senna's AFK, right? Let's say she's AFK somewhere here. And you can even go as far as to give him an auto attack with Q, because you have 550 range, space away, and then drag these 3 minions somewhere in this region, and then just safely CS them. And then you can just keep sniping with Q. Right,
so because where Senna is, the auto is bad.
Well, you don't Q, that's the first issue. I would have already thrown Q. I think if you auto now, it's a little dangerous, because Senna can walk up. You see?
Yeah, exactly.
That's weird. But you don't have to auto attack, you have Q available. That's the thing. Right, I'm telling you a possibility in this lane is you can Q auto, drag minions, pull back. That's one possibility. The second possibility is you just Q, and it's going to be more the latter than the first because Senna exists, right? She's not AFK here. She's actually looking to hit you if you walk up. So you should just hit Q, you shouldn't auto attack. Not so good. And then you miss the middle minion, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so are we on the same page here? Does this make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Here, don't you think that Jin is on cooldown? No, sorry, not Jin. Don't you think Senna's on cooldown?
Yes, she is with her Q.
Right? Don't you think that... What does Jin want? We, again, have to play the game of intentions. Caster. He wants this caster, yes. Now, if he wants this caster, he has to stand somewhere in this region. Right? Now, for him to do that, what pockets can we take to just completely abuse this? We can
Yeah, the north one. That's the
take
one
pocket
I
A,
prefer.
right? You're standing in pocket B. Pocket B is not so good. Unless you're gonna like walk somewhere here and auto queue, like that's possible. But pocket A, it's really hard for him to dodge.
Yeah.
Pocket B, he can still like leave, but pocket A, he has to like really go into his minions,
Okay.
right? And then pocket C is like turbo useless. So I would just
Yeah.
be like, right now, don't you think you just like stand right here and you just give him an auto attack and then another Q?
I agree. Yes. I might have been scared of losing level 2, but looking at it now, I don't think we're losing level 2 if I do that.
I mean, you're gonna get level 2. You just need to auto the
Yeah.
wave.
Exactly.
Or you need to tell your Swain to auto the wave, at least. What ranks the coach and what ranks the student? I'm master tier, and this guy and the student is emerald. This guy's everything I'm not. True. Anyways, does this all make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So in the same intention here, right? Like, this is really good. Because again, this is a good movement by you, but why is it a good movement by you? We know he wants this. He has Forge Shot available. You have Q available. Now, I would be a little bit scared to auto attack here because you have so many casters that can hit you.
Mm-hmm.
But you can easily throw out Q and then you can just start working on these frontline minions because this is the primary goal.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if you put him to half HP if you're losing out on the push.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, because he can regen, he can potion, he then has control on wave, he gives a base timer if he needs to. You know, and if you give him a base timer on, let's say, like if he gets push lead on you and gets a base off that, then the HP that you took out doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's irrelevant at that point, right? Q is really good. Out spam work on this wave. Like even here, this is really strange to me. Your movement, right? Because like look at your camera first of all. What are we looking at exactly?
Yeah.
You know, I'm a little confused. I feel like this is really hard to click. Like where you're clicking is so weird. Like why am I clicking on the edge of my screen? I don't do this. And I think if I were to do this, this would be the most uncomfortable thing to do. And so my question is, why would you want to do this? So it's like camera is first.
Okay.
Right? Then you click. But you gotta adjust your camera. If you don't adjust your camera, it's so weird. Like right now, you click up for no reason. Like you're never gonna hit him with Q. You're never gonna, you know, it's useless. You should already just be autoing these minions.
Mm-hmm.
But you're like on the edge here. It's so I can't even see your champion.
Yeah.
Almost, right? So that's weird. We don't want to be in situations like that. So now in this case, I would recommend you, like in your case, just have like even a notepad open. So like this is a key issue that I'm seeing in your gameplay.
Okay.
Like the good news is you're taking my advice. Right? It's third session. You took my advice. You're playing a lot better. You feel a lot comfortable. It's good. But like still, there are things that you're just not doing. If you do them, it's gonna amplify what you already know. Right? So like this is all just not great movement. They're not moving properly either, but that's like not the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because your movements are in relation to what they do. The problem is if they're challenger versus emerald, one, you have a lot to learn because they'll actually punish you. That or they'll stomp you so hard that there will be nothing to learn. It will go one or the other, to be honest. But when you play against emerald, then it's like it's hard to climb when you play against bad players all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Or like let's say inexperienced players, to not be like rude, right, to all the other emeralds, because I know there's a lot of people in this rank. Yeah. Any questions? Like you can only play on relation to this, but you have to know what is the most optimal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would just be working on these frontline minions, and then I would just like hit him with Q, and you can't do anything. What the hell? Okay. I don't know. Same thing here, don't you think? You could have launched Q?
Yeah.
So where are our eyes? Usually.
My eyes currently are on those minions.
Yes, these minions. Good. Right. But you're a champion that, in this case, Jin can't really be here. Because you can easily stand here, you can still access wave, and you can still hit him with Q. And Senna can't do anything unless Senna actually postures up to you.
Okay.
Right? This is a bit strange because this guy is actually just AFK. right? Like his movements are really, really bad. So he's not really even playing the game. But this is kind of what you have to do to start 2v1ing in lane in low elo, and then you'll eventually get to like master, challenger, etc. And supports are not going to be that complete grief, right? They'll still troll you, but they're not going to troll you to the point where like they're not existent. It's good dodge. I would just Q again. I would be auto Q here. Yeah, good.
Yeah, and this is like what I was saying, like I feel like I can do it sometimes, like be good with the pocketing and the Qs and the minions, and then sometimes I can't.
I mean, it seems to me that you never Q when Jhin doesn't go for last hits. There's 2 times you can Q. You can Q when he doesn't go for a last hit, or you can Q when he does go for a last hit. If you do the latter, you'll most likely hit him because he's in animation. But if you do the former, then you'll still hit him because look at the position. None of these champions can do anything to you. If this Senna opts to walk up to trade with you as you're walking up, she's getting Swain pulled. And your ADC is not consenting to a fight. This position allows you to build a slow push and just start destroying them in lane. They can't actually play the game. You hit him with Q 1 or 2 more times, lane's over.
Yeah.
Do you think?
That's true. Yep.
Right? So at this point, like I would have just already tossed Q out.
Yeah, and that makes sense because watching like Viper or Deft when they play, they don't always throw Qs right on minions. They throw Qs when they're in spots that it's possible to hit them.
Your goal is really simple in this lane. You just need to base for tier.
Yep.
That's all you need. You can look for tier, which is ideally what you want for the first space. Or if you're playing like in really low elo and these guys are just this bad, then you can just kill them. But you're still basing and you're looking for tier.
Yep.
Right? But that doesn't mean you don't like play the lane. Because this allows you to kill them. Now, if you kill them, they're really bad. But that's the thing. You can solo kill and solo queue low elo. But it's harder to do that in higher elo. Like, they're not going to just like hard int immediately.
Yeah.
Okay? But you need to throw out Q to get to actually like abuse them. Like even now, I would have just queued. So she does that. That's okay. Now at this point, what are you thinking?
Right now I'm thinking of just trying to thin it a little bit.
Right.
That cannon.
Let's look at Jin's position. Do you think that in a 1v1 situation, let's say you were face to face against Jin, don't you think that you have high ground against him in terms of HP, in terms of abilities?
Yep.
Yes. Which means that I don't want to play this diagonal.
You want to play it the same side as him.
I want to play it same side as him. If I play it on the same side as him, it forces him to play on the diagonal. But when he makes the movement to respond to you, it puts pressure on him because he actually has to respond to something. And if you do that over and over again in lane, then you start making people crack under pressure. Because right now he's not under any pressure because Ezreal is in Africa.
Yeah.
I want this cannon. I want this caster. I want to just crash the wave. If I'm Jin, actually what I would have done is I would have just crashed the wave and I would have gotten the hell out of this lane because this lane is like doomed for me. The HP. But he agreed for that earlier, right? That's okay. In this case, just stand here. You want to just fight him. You don't want him to kill your minions off. At this point in the lane, he's trying to get out of the lane. If you click him, he may not have potions. So his goal is to escape lane and reset it somehow. But you don't want to let him do that, so you should just walk up to him.
Yeah.
You see how you're so safe? Look how he gets this minion for free. He's like happy. For fun taking this minion. I would be right here. I would be auto Q auto. I would utilize the brush. This forces him to play here, to play here, to play here. He's going to have a really hard time crashing wave. How good is he, by the way? So you see, he did the same thing that I told you to do earlier.
Yeah.
You can look for that initial Q. Do you see like this is because it's higher elo? You see how Zeri clicks back? So in higher elo, you're gonna have resistance. In lower elo, nobody's gonna resist you. They're not gonna do so probably until 700 LP. I'm gonna be honest. But notice what she's doing. She's walking up, but she's baiting the Q. Look at the click back. So she clicks up, clicks back. You see this movement here?
Yeah.
It's because she knows he's gonna Q. Unfortunately, Lulu's not on the same page. So when you lip sync a game, you want to look at these. You want to know like what she's going to do.
Okay.
You see? Same position.
Yep. And even with this like higher rank player, so just hits him.
Still hits him. Zeri could stand here to still auto the minions, but because she's not in diagonal and she's immediately eating Ezreal face to face, she's gonna get Q'd. His Q goes off. But again, notice when he Qs, because timing is really important. Do you see the minion?
Yep, right.
I go here, I Q now.
Right.
But he moves prior to the minion being last hit on the opposing side. This click is really important, because this click allows him to position for the Q. But he's not positioning for the Q as Zeri's last hitting. That's what you're doing. You're clicking up when the minion is dying.
That's true.
When that happens, if that happens, then Zeri will just walk down. I mean, if she walks up, she's griefing. If she walks this like she's griefing, because then you can walk like this and you can Q her. But this is the difference. Like, this is a very subtle difference. Same thing, like I'm looking, right? Like she wants this, but I have no Q. She's gonna get it. We give it to her. It's okay. We're just gonna work on these minions. We want to kill minions. Same thing. Can't abuse her because she's too far. It's okay. Same thing here. She wants this minion. She's gonna have to stand somewhere like in a pocket to take it. I'm gonna position myself here. I can move up, still Q her.
Okay. Yeah.
He Qs. I think he tried to Q Lulu there. See how he's also baiting out Zeri's range? Remember the 500 range? 500 Zeri range, 525 Ezreal range. You want to play on that 25 range. Wow, that's a good Q.
Yeah, that was a great Q.
Very good Q. No. You're not going to have Nautilus in your team, I'm sorry.
No, I know.
I know that would be pretty easy, the game, you know, if you had Nautilus on your team, but I can't say that you're going to.